Hello, my name is Clay. Today I learn vocabulary word level C, lesson 3. Let's go. Today we're going to be talking about amazing animals, lesson 3. What's after sevens? Right? We're talking about math, maybe countings, right? Well, what's after sevens? I don't know. Well, right, it's 8, right? What's after 7? It's 8. So first, it depends on what we're talking about. What's after 7? Well, then I don't know. We're talking about math, counting. So what's after 7? It's 8. So that we're going to learn about in this lessons. Well, did you know that there's an elephant that can count? That's really strange, right? Let's get started into vocabulary. Well, first word here I have is to find some things. First word is to find some things. Well, what do we find? Now that's an interesting picture. Looks like a scuba diver just came up and he found something in the bottom of the oceans, right? He have discovered something. He discovered some things, right? He have discovered maybe a piece of rocks, I don't know, right? He discovered something or find something. He have discovered it, right? The next one. We have many apples here, many green apples, but there's one red apples. To change one thing for another. So let's say this person says, okay, I'm going to take the red apples and I'm going to put in the green apples in this place. It's called switch, right? They're going to switch apples, right? So they switch this red apples, they take it out and they put a green one in its place. That's mean you switch them to switch, okay? Our next word, number 3. Well, what is person doing? Can you do this exercise? To do again. By the way, this activities is called pushing. Push up, right? You push up. She's doing push-ups, right? You could also do sit-ups, right? This is a push-up. But when you do those activities many times, you do it again, you repeat that same action, right? So say I can do push-up 1. I'm not. No, you have to repeat, right? Do it 10 times. Do 1 push-up, 2 push-up, 3 push-up. You repeat, you do again. So when you exercise, you do the exercise again. You repeat the exercise. Number 4, very smart girl, right? She's gonna be a scientist when she grows up. She's studying chemistry. Now, by the way, how to say that activity that she's doing? A test to see what happened. She's doing tests to see what happened if she mixed this and she mixed that, and all of those, what will happen, right? Well, maybe just go outside, right? It's called an experiment. Experiment. A long word, experiment. So long, right? Experiment. 4 sounds, right? Well, experience. The put them all together. Experiment. Experiment. So an experiment is basically what scientists like. Experiments and many scientists and comets do this to see what will happen if they put this and this and that, right? That is experiments. Right? Or test to see what will happen if we do something. That's an experiment. Okay, our next one here we have to choose. If you want to choose for fat food to vegetables, what will you choose? To choose, what will we call this? This person chooses hamburger, you see, and this person chooses an apples. You see, it's very important to choose the right things, right? Well, person who chooses hamburgers kind of fat, but the person who chooses apples is kind of like fit, right? It's slim. They're not so fat during your good shapes, okay? But you choose some things. It's called select, right? If you choose something, you select it, right? It's like one thing or the other things. When you select the hamburgers, right, then you look like me, right? If you select the apples, you look like I did 20 years ago, okay? So depending on what you choose, that's important. Depending on what you select, what will you select? Okay? Or next one, a container for holding some things, right? Well, that's containers. There are many different kinds of containers that hold things, right? But this is a special containers. It's just kind of like a pail, right? And you can carry it. We call it a bucket. A bucket. A bucket is usually used to carry waters or sand or something else, and you can use many buckets and have handles that you can carry it around with. Okay, buckets are good for carrying heavy things, but we call this type of container a bucket. They're made of metal or plastic, so plastic bucket, metal bucket. Okay, so next one you have the study of numbers. Well, if you study numbers, or maybe you study multiplications or addition or subtractions or divisions, right? You're using those calculations, you're studying math. Then you hear it said, add, subtract, or every add. That is a simple math. It's like plus. Subtract is like this. Multiplication or multiply, and division or divide. Multiply is like this, right? It's a harder one. And divide is like this one, right? Well, add, subtract, multiply, and divide. This is all studies of math. He's doing baby and algebra, right? Here's a really hard one. There are many types of math. There's simple math, so this there's many kinds of math around, right? But all kinds of math around us. I just around adding and subtractions and doing those things. Those are the studies of numbers. We call it math, right? Okay, our next word here we have is intelligent. Intelligent, we call it smart, right? Who's intelligent? They're smart. We call them smart. Are you smart? Of course you are. You're studying with me, right? So you are studying with these learnings. So you're smart. You're be smart too because you're intelligent. If someone is intelligent, they're smart, right? It's interesting to look at this word. Intelligent and smart intelligence, right? They have the same meaning as each other, right? They are synonyms. There's a difference between intelligent and wise. If somebody is wise, that means they have a lot of experience in something. If they're intelligent, they have the ability to learn things fast and quickly, right? Intelligent, they have the ability to learn something fast and to remember quickly in just a short time, right? Our next word here we have. Or next word with no error is called exactly, right? Maybe you're throwing an arrow. You throw it exactly at the middle, at the center of that board, right? That's like exactly perfect, right? There's no errors. And the next word. Why something happened? Oh, this poor girl, she has an F, right? That is reasons. She will need to have a reason why she have an F, right? Why something happened, it is a reason, right? The reason is to explain about some things, right? Or reasons. Maybe she didn't sleep at night, so she didn't study there. She played games all night, right? There's many reasons why she have an F. Many reasons why somebody would get an F, right? So I hope that doesn't happen to you. Make sure there's no reason for you to get an F. There should be only reason for you to get an A. Okay, number 15. To make a point in a test or a game, right? Maybe if some countries playing together like Japan and Korea and playing together, maybe a soccer ball games, right? We would have the score just count 8 and 0s, right? So 8 and 0s. Maybe what's the score? What are the points that each team got or each person got? That's the score. And we're talking about the score. You just talk about both teams 8 to 0s, okay? Or you could say, what's your score on a test? Because it's also a test. My score is 89. That's pretty good. But it's better if your score is 100, right? That's a perfect score. So hopefully you get 100. That'll be a score on a test. Okay? Well, our next word here we have to think that something is true, right? You believe in something, right? Maybe you believe Santa Claus is true. You believe and you think that Santa is true. You believe in that, right? Or maybe you just believe about somebody talking something. That's also belief. Okay, let's look at word problems. He will switch the old bucket with a new one. The professor wants to give the elephant a math test. Do you know why I choose professors? Because just the living thing can give others the tests, right? And just people can do that. But in this box, there's just professors. Because professors is our only word that describes a person. Next, the worker discovered gold and diamonds in the cave. They something the same test 3 times. They selected the same test 3 times. Fill the buckets with water from the well. The scientist is doing an experiment, right? Scientific experiments. Asia selected the one with more apples in it. Are you stopped at an elephant can count? Yes, I'm talking about that. Well, today we've learned about vocabulary words and all about an elephant that can count. Well, maybe you can go and explore about that elephant. It's really awesome. One last time, say bye. See you next